All right, y'all. Spinny's on one tonight, I think. He's got some crazy headline. Who's the bigger bag fumbler? He's refusing to tell me what it is. So we're starting the episode off by you telling me what the hell that means.
Well,
One's got to be Dennis Schroeder, correct?
no, not Dennis Schroeder. These are both episode related tonight. Episode related. But before I answer that question, we're going to hear from Jack.
Spinny, you looked like you were about to sing to the theme song. You have like your own music, lyrics to go with that, or what?
No, we were just humming along to the theme song. You know how
Oh,
it
okay.
is.
Yeah, I like the vibe. All right, tell me the answer now.
Okay. Well, how about we start the episode first, and then we'll get to the answer.
Okay.
Start our
Well,
episode off.
we're starting the episode with something I didn't tell Spinny we were going to do, but I'm assuming he knew we were going to talk about it, and that is the Damian Lillard trade. It finally went down all these months later. Spinny, what do you think about the initial trade? It was essentially Ayton to the Blazers, Drew Holiday to the Blazers as well. Obviously, Dame goes to the Bucks, and a bunch of pieces go to the Suns. What do you think about it?
I thought it made sense for all teams. I also thought this was another case in the NBA lore of hating on LeBron for choices he made until you have to make them yourself, aka Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, yeah, he did say
Yeah.
that kind of stuff back in the day, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
forgot.
Kevin Durant did the same thing when he tweeted out right after the Miami decision, how could you do him like that? And then proceeded to go to the Warriors later on when the going
Do
got
his
tough.
team even worse. Yeah.
Yep. Giannis also has crap talk the situation and did a classic LeBron move in this situation where he used all his leverage to make the Bucks make a huge trade. They put an extension on the table. He was kind of like meh to it. And then was it the New York Times or USA Today? I can't remember, but he went on had a interview with one of those two publications where he said he needs to feel like the team he's on has a chance to win or he will move on. Obvious shot at Milwaukee that they needed to get something done. And they went out and traded Drew Holiday, one of Giannis's closest friends and one of their best players from previous years, to get a superstar. So that was the biggest storyline of it for me. Another all-time great coming around to having to do the things that LeBron gets hated for.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
That he himself hated on him for. Yeah.
Yep.
Unreal. More basketball specific though. What do you think about, because obviously the defensive downgrade is very noticeable from Drew to Dame, but there's obviously an offensive upgrade. So
the fit for Milwaukee is unbelievable.
It's perfect because the pick and roll with Giannis is about to be ridiculous, dude. It's
also,
gonna be unstoppable.
Can you imagine Giannis with a stretched out defense? Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's gonna have to go out, or either that or they're gonna play that same crunching stuff they always do against Giannis, and Dame's gonna have an absolute field day. Wide open threes for days.
Right. And what are they gonna and how are they gonna like even Middleton? Imagine all the open shots he's gonna get. He's gonna be just camped in the corner waiting for them to come off this ball screen. They have to help somewhere, right? Like,
yeah, Middleton is the Klay Thompson role essentially now.
Right.
Sit in the corner and hit shots. So I just, and with Brook and Giannis, and that's the other thing now. Giannis doesn't have to care as much about offense anymore. He can even go further onto the be Hakeem Olajuwon level defender. And if he's at that level and you still got Brook Lopez, I don't give a crap if Dame can't guard anybody. It doesn't matter because the rest of the team's defense is going to be
they got him. Yeah, they got him behind Dame at least for sure.
And the Bucks' biggest issue in the playoffs has been scoring. Has been putting
scoring down the stretch.
Scoring down the stretch.
It's
Both,
only Middleton. Middleton's only dude that could like score down the stretch. That's not necessarily a recipe for success.
yep. And Dame is the second best player in the league, the second best guard in the league at creating his own shot and scoring in whatever situations. So Steph is obviously the one I'm giving the nod to over.
Right.
But
Obviously.
yeah.
Well, they have like a 2-3 year window here. They got to get it done again.
What do you
luckily
think
though,
trade for the Blazers?
Blazers. So I've had a lot of thoughts about this. My initial, very, very initial, right off the read reaction was the rare, extremely rare actually, win-win-win trade. As I analyze it a little more as days passed, obviously, I think it's a win-win loss. I think the Suns lost this trade. I don't
Really?
know. I don't like what they got for Ayton. I thought they moved a little too quick on him. I thought, they brought in a new coach, but potentially because of all this animosity, I probably said that wrong, between Ayton and Monty Williams, right? So Frank Vogel also has a track record of coaching successful athletic bigs, kind of similar to him. Think about Roy Hibbert. That was all under Frank Vogel. Dwight Howard, out of nowhere, is just good again in the Lakers bubble run. That was with Frank Vogel. So I thought they just moved on him too quick, and they moved on him for Nurkic, a guy who plays, 20 games a year? Like, he's not staying healthy, no shot in hell. And Grayson Allen, a guy who is brutally choked in his last 2 playoff appearances. So, like, are these even guys that are going to be able to play when it matters the most? And
Who
you
else
traded a guy who
I feel like they got one more role player we're missing that could have an impact.
I mean, yeah. I would have to look it up, but those were the best 2 players that they got in return. And so I just don't get that. And obviously Nurkic's contract's brutal because it's 20 plus million for his production, which is just not good in today's NBA.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think the Suns, maybe it necessarily wasn't the right trade for them, but I don't know if they could have gotten more. It seemed like the Ayton market was pretty crappy, and they did get what they needed. Nasir Little, I think, will be very
Nasir, that was it. Nasir was the
Nasir, I think, will be impactful on the Suns. And I think
I could see that.
With the way the Suns roster is and the way their team's made up, I don't know if Nurkic does any more or less than Ayton. I think you're right. It's about health for sure. And Nurkic obviously has no history of staying healthy. But if he's healthy and with the amount of shooters and scorers they have on that team, like I think he's just as good as Ayton at the rest of the stuff. Maybe not on potential, but Ayton's never played defense in his life either. He could, but we've never seen him actually do it.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I don't hate it for them. I hate it the most for the Blazers.
I was just going to say, back to your original point, I didn't even answer that. You actually hate it the most for the Blazers, huh?
Well,
I like it for the Blazers.
Wouldn't you rather
Drew and Ayton? You thought they could get a better package plus 3 picks, 2 pick swaps, and an unprotected 29 first?
Well, it just depends on what
Dame?
you want, I guess. And it also depends on what they get for Drew. If they get 2 or 3 firsts for Drew, then it's a different story. But it just seemed to me like Toronto or Miami would be willing to give up way more draft capital, which is what they should want, I would think.
Right. I guess they wanted a young athletic big to pair with their young athletic guards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the
if
mold
you can get
they're building
for
there.
Drew, then you're looking good.
Which you would imagine he should be worth at least the equivalent of 2 firsts.
Yeah. I also think there's a good chance Drew plays 20 or 30 games on the Blazers because I don't think they're going to.
Most of the talk is that they're trying to get it done by next weekend, so it's essentially a 4-team deal or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, they want to move on from him right away. Kind of like I told one of my friends this. It's kind of like the Chris Paul situation, I feel like. He gets traded to the Wizards. They want Chris Paul just so that they can ship him out and get even more back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I can totally see that happening. We're on their coach trade, and then then they can use that leverage even more in their favor.
And I also think it just depends on what the market is for them. I mean, please, Malcolm Brogdon and whatever picks you got to give up. That's what I want to happen. Drew Holiday on the C's. I need that in my life right now. That's what I want.
Okay, so that was the last question that I wanted to ask before we jump topics here. Is that so? The Celtics, like that's your
That's
pick,
obviously my bias number one option. I think
right?
Miami is another option that,
Oh my god, it'd be unreal in Miami, man. Heat
yeah,
culture, Jimmy and Bam and Drew.
yeah. I mean, that
You
would
got a
be.
guard defender, wing defender, post defender. Good luck,
And I also got wild here. What what if the Warriors trade Chris Paul again
bro. I can
for
totally see
Drew
this.
Holiday?
I totally see this.
So I don't know.
They were on my list of teams to look out for. Honestly, I put so it was the Heat, the Celtics, obviously the Sixers. I
The
think could
Sixers,
maybe be
yeah.
in the mix.
But what are you giving
Uh,
up? Because
the
like,
two West teams were the Lakers and the Warriors.
yeah, I
But
don't
the
like him on
Lakers,
the
I don't know if
Lakers
they can
that
give it up.
much.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just,
really either. I'm just knowing the Lakers, they could be in the
yeah,
mix.
no, you're right. And even the Clippers, I feel like could be an odd
I
of.
want him to stay in the Eastern Conference, though. That would be amazing, dude. If he gets to go up against the new Bucks, if he's part of the Sixers or the Celtics,
Oh,
all these rivalries, dude, it's gonna be so fun to watch.
just the culture setting that Drew would do on Boston is have to
No,
like.
please don't go to Boston. I don't want to see
Oh,
this for your team,
the
dude.
defense that Drew would have Brown and Tatum playing,
Bro, your team
like
is easily your team's the favorite if Drew's there, no doubt about it.
maybe. I mean, the Bucks
He is.
are over the
No,
Bucks.
yes.
Really?
We're talking a team that's made runs like every single year. Tatum and Brown probably going to be taking another step forward as they're entering their prime age of their career. And then you add a defensive stud like Drew Holiday to that team that's already so good at defense. That team is really good. And yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
done for. Because who's guarding? Like, you got Drew can get buckets here and there. He's a little inconsistent, but you got Drew, Jalen, and Tatum. And then you still have guys like, well, obviously you'd probably have to get rid of Brogdon, but you'd still have like Derek White or
Yep.
one of them at least.
You're
Like,
keeping one of those two.
Bucks ain't stopping any of those guys. Giannis can only guard one of them at a time.
True. I think any three of those East teams would be very interesting, though. Sixers, Miami, or Boston.
I ain't worried about the Sixers. We know what they do.
Yeah, they always
We
be
know that.
choking, but
Yeah,
Drew's a culture setter though in that situation, and I think it could work.
that's fair. All right, let's switch topics now. MLB season recap.
And this is where
This is where I cry about a couple things.
cry, huh?
Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to roast Sandy Alcantara here, maybe a little
What?
bit. What do you expect, Spinny? Come on,
Dang.
Dylan Cease. These dudes got to get roasted tonight.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say about
Well,
the MLB?
this is where who's the biggest bag fumbler comes into play. So I'm gonna just start out with my first question. Sorry, pardon my French, but I feel like this has to be said this way. Who fucked up more, the Angels or Shohei?
What do you mean, Shohei?
Ohtani. Who fucked up more, Ohtani or the Angels?
I mean, the Angels. I don't see
His injury? How much money he just lost? He probably lost $200 million in a contract.
injuries. It's not like he went out of his way to get injured.
No, it's not his fault by any means. Not his fault, but he's still.
Oh,
Who lost more, the Angels or Ohtani?
Right. Bro, that's tough.
Right?
That's actually a really good question. You would have to think it's going to be Ohtani then, right?
I don't know. I still think.
No, I'm taking it back. I don't even want to throw that out there. It's the Angels. They still let this dude, even if he doesn't somehow pitch ever again, which he might not. He's going to hit nukes. He's still going to hit nukes. He'll be an elite hitter no matter what. And they let that dude walk for free. So the Angels.
That's why I still went Angels as well, because they could have traded him pre-injury and got anything and everything from anybody.
We saw what Juan Soto went for.
And Ohtani's going for more than that, especially
way
for
more
injury.
than that. Yeah.
So, yeah. That was question number one. I also agree. I think it was the Angels.
Okay, good. I thought you were I thought the question was more about me or you in terms of our preseason predictions and how bad we did. Who was the bigger fumbler? Yeah. My question for you, just tell me something, man. I'm interested in hearing something that really surprised you this season. It can be literally anything you want. Player, team, whatever. Someone that did good, someone did bad.
There was a few things.
There was a number of things I did not see coming.
One, I'm not going to give because it's a future question. Luis Arise leading the league in batting average. I did not think that was going to be a
355 or something.
Yeah,
right now.
That's unreal to me. Pablo Lopez top 5 in strikeouts in the majors. That was another one that really surprised me.
On top of that, Sonny is top 5 in ERA.
Yeah, 2 pitchers in 2 top 5 categories for the Twins. That's another thing. Really, really surprised me. I feel like there was a standings team that really kind of blew. Well, I'm not even going to say. I'm going to say this, even though I predicted this team to make the playoffs. But
the Orioles. It's the Orioles.
100 games. Yeah, I mean that's they have 100 wins right now already.
None of us, you and Brendan, both correctly predicted their breakout campaign here, but I there's no way either of you guys thought they were going to win 100 games. So this is an unreal season by them.
Literally wild. What do you got?
Yeah, some of those are mine too. I'm gonna throw 3 bounce back players at you too. That I kind of thought they maybe had lost it. No cap, and that is obviously your man's Cody Bellinger. He's back in the top 5 in batting average in the MLB. Monster season for him. Christian Yelich, he isn't fully back to like what Bellinger's doing, but he still had an amazing season this year. Helped the Brewers win the NL Central. And the third guy, also your man. Do you know?
Yeah, because this was my third question. It's Blake Snell.
Blake Snell, dude.
One of my questions.
The likely Cy Young is Blake Snell. That's surprising me.
Is Blake Snell actually back? Was my first question, which I think you have answered yourself that you think it's yes.
Mm-hmm.
Second, if so, do the Padres have an actual chance to be a good team next year? Because, I mean, playoff likelihood is looking sketchy for them right now.
Here's the thing, man. We thought it would be this year. Like, why wouldn't it be? You got Xander, you got Machado, you got Soto, you got Tatis. I get they had injuries, but so does every other MLB team. You have
those 4 dudes Darvish, plus the pitching league.
Snell and Darvish and Musgrove. Musgrove did miss a ton of the season.
Yeah.
So that one I'll forgive. The other guys were here and there. But still, you have all those guys, and you're paying those 7, 8 dudes, whatever I just named, like $1 billion, and you don't even make the playoffs.
Like in a 17
not even
playoff format or 16 playoff format now.
Yeah,
6 teams.
They didn't even get second in the West, dude. The Diamondbacks did.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, of course, I want to say the Padres are going to be good next year, but they should have been good this year. Yeah. So I don't know. I do think Snell's back, though. He's going to have all those guys obviously still on the team, so the run support will be there. He's just a nasty lefty, dude, and we see this time and time again in MLB where guys suck for a year or two. For him, it was, a little longer than that, 3-4 years. But now he's back. Probably going to get a second Cy Young in different conferences, too.
Which is wild.
Different leagues, I should say. That is wild. All right, what's the question you got for me?
Were the Braves? This one blew my mind, and this was, I don't think, live 2 years ago. Did the Braves actually make a good decision in giving up Freddie Freeman for Matt Olson? Man, we roasted them for this. Absolutely blamed them.
We did, right? The context, though, after the fact, this is the one time where you can say, hindsight 2020, like, none of us could have foreseen that Freddie Freeman's agent screwed him over like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have been back because he didn't even tell Freddie the offer, and Freddie would have accepted that offer. His agent said no because his agent wanted more money. Obviously, he gets a cut of the deal. Yeah. So that's why he didn't re-sign with the Braves. He said he would have taken that less money deal. So I can't really say they made a good decision, but clearly it's not a bad one.
But 54 home runs and 136 RBIs leads the MLB in both for Matt Olson. I never saw that coming.
I didn't even mention them, but I had them written down. obviously both of us predicted the Braves to win it all this year. So we knew Olsen, Acuna, all these dudes would be good. No one saw this shit coming, dude. No one saw 40-70 season from Ronald Acuna. What is that? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like those numbers do not compute in my brain. 40 and 70, Spitty. And then what you just said about Matt Olson, how you're gonna pick Acuna for MVP, obviously, but like, geez, like,
yeah, what else does
Matt
he have to
Olson
do?
every other year, yeah,
Literally.
unreal.
All right, what
Yeah,
do you
they just blew my mind, man. Okay, now we're gonna flip it the other way. I want you to tell me a player or a team, whatever you want, that definitely did not meet your preseason expectations.
got? Well, the Yankees and the Red Sox, both of those teams,
Yankees, both New York teams too. Mets
garbage.
too. I didn't
Mets.
think they were going to be elite, but yeah, Mets.
I do want to shout myself out a little bit with the frisky Detroit Tigers take second in the AL Central, about 500 team this year for the Detroit
Yeah,
Tigers. They could
that's
be
not
on the
bad.
up and up. St. Louis, man, 90 losses for the Cardinals. When's the last time that's happened?
I got them written down too, man. That's what's going on there? I honestly was not locked in at all with the Cardinals because they were terrible from day one. They were never good.
No,
Yeah,
terrible. Literally. Negative
unreal.
103 run differential. Just could not put it together.
Yeah. They had a lot of injuries.
I feel like the injuries and then the pitching, like
Pitching was not there.
ERAs of their top pitchers. You know, Mike was 4.82. Montgomery, who they traded, was at 3.35 when they traded him. Flattery also traded 4.4. Adam Wainwright 7. Steven Matz 3.9. This is just going down the innings pitched list. Hudson 4.9, Palenti 4.7. Like everyone in their starting pitching rotation that they still have is an ERA above 4. They just can't put it together. Their team leader in wins currently has 8. Michaelis leads their team currently, and he is 8-13. Wow.
8-13. Yeah, I had all those teams. I had the Padres obviously written down. We already went in on them. And then this is where I have to do it, Spinny. This is just purely because I got them on my fantasy team. But Sandy Alcantara and Dylan Cease, what the hell were those seasons by them? That was just ridiculous, dude. I mean, they both had +4 ERAs. And this is from defending Cy Young champion Sandy Alcantara and runner-up in Dylan Cease. And they just choked this bad. Obviously, we've already said we see this in MLB where guys, it's a roller coaster, but
especially pitchers.
Yeah, but still, I did not see this from these two dudes.
Especially Sandy, man. I thought
Especially Sandy.
Yeah. Thought he was going to be the next Scherzer type level, Verlander type level guy.
Right. Staying on the pitcher train, talk about Alex Manoah, too. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
This dude couldn't even finish the season in MLB.
No.
He was so bad they had to say, nah, you back to the minors, bro.
Literally.
Like, what? And they're really good, too. Like, it's not like their whole season flopped.
No. Yeah.
But their best pitcher is just not even relevant anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
Unreal. And then, sorry, I have to do this, Spinny. We have to throw in a little Twins. Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, man.
Yeah.
We won the division. We did our job. I love it. We're going to the playoffs. Awesome. But those two, come on.
Trash. Seasons.
Trash.
I have to give Correa a little break. He was on and off hurt the whole season, but
and Correa still was playing and doing his defensive amazingness that he always does. But Buxton
can't hit when he doesn't play defense. It's wild.
Buxton
can't DH. He can't hit as nearly as good. I'm just
makes no sense.
Well, I think he's one of those guys that just gets his momentum from his defense because that's what he's really truly amazing at. And then the hitting comes off that. It's like a momentum thing for him. I don't know, but it just seems like when he's sitting in the dugout the whole game, he just can't get it going.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't know what it is. I don't think there's any fixing him. That's why when we signed him that contract, I said it was not a good contract, and Most people roasted me for saying that, but I think everyone will agree with that now at this point. This is a good segue, though.
I have
Okay.
one more. I got
Go
one
for it.
last one. I already told you one of these answers, but there's 2 Braves in the top 5 in runs batted in the major leagues. One is Matt Olson, which I already told you leads the majors. Who's the other one?
2 Braves?
2 Braves. Top 5 RBIs in the MLB.
Well, it's not. It's Ozzy Albies.
It is Ozzy Albies.
It's Ozzy, yeah.
Ozzy, 107 RBIs. Olson, Alonso, Tucker, Soto, and Albies, top 5. That one just kind of surprised me a little bit, given Acuna and the rest of the squad. But he's balling too.
Their whole team stat line is just stupid, honestly.
Absolutely wild.
Oh my gosh! All right, I do have to toss it back to the Twins though. I want to hear your grade. Give us a regular season grade.
B.
How'd you grade the season? B. That's exactly what I said.
Did our job. Didn't do anything crazy. Kind of underwhelming, but won the division and did what we needed to do, and probably going to lose 3 straight playoff games.
Hey, tune in to next week's episode. We will, before the playoffs start, we'll dive into all of our playoff predictions. Hopefully, Spinny and I don't have them losing 3-0.
I will have them losing 3-0. 100%.
Man, we got to get one. We're getting one.
No, we're not. They have to prove it to me before I will pick it. I will pick them to lose every game, every year until they win one, because they've just proven me right over and over.
Well, they're winning this year, brother. They're winning this year.
Godspeed to them. Godspeed.
Godspeed, he says. All right. Let's switch gears now. Let's jump to the NFL now, huh? Let's talk week 3. For this focus, we're just going to talk standouts, players, teams, whatever the hell we want to talk about that stood out to us. I'm just going to throw it out there. We might as well just start with it. I'm sure you talked about this on the Al Travis show on Thursday. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. That stood out to me.
Yeah, that was fun. I loved everything about that. Getting the MLB or getting the NFL hyped. Travis's jersey sales up 400%.
Like what?
Added like 350,000 followers on social media. Absolutely wild experience.
Did you see that she's coming to the Jets game now,
yeah,
too?
she's coming to the Jets game. All my homies, shoot your shot. That's all I got to say. That's what I learned from that. Yeah. All my homies, go shoot your shot, because that's wild. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Like, Travis is a cool-ass dude. Like, a funny-ass dude. Like, just seems chill and normal and, like, just a guy you want to meet. So,
have you seen, like, through social media, like, most Swifties are not happy with it?
No, I know. I mean,
why is Taylor doing this dumb football player? This classic stereotype, like,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe because he's 6'5" and he's super athletic and jacked, like, and is handsome. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why else would you date somebody? Like,
literally. That was a cool storyline, honestly, from the week,
and one to follow. Honestly,
made it forward. My first thing: can the Browns really win the AFC North, even if Deshaun doesn't get any better? We get the same Deshaun the whole season. Can the Browns win the AFC North? I kind of think so.
Bro, I think so too, dude. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think you were going to think that. I wanted to bring this up. Their defense is ridiculous, dude. It's actually ridiculous.
The best in the league.
It might be.
It's in the conversation for sure.
It's in the combo. It's
especially
one of the top
after
5.
the Diggs injury. Like, I think it's pretty much just them and San Fran at this point that are really, and maybe Philly. You can throw Philly in that group too if you want, just because of the pass rush. But
I literally have Browns defense written as one of my standouts. Like,
wild.
You lose Chubb at the season is like chalked up as an L by most people in the national media, probably even including me, partly. And all of a sudden, they just come out here and they just absolutely destroy the Titans, who have actually been playing pretty well to start the season. 27-3.
Yeah,
always well coached. Both of us picked the Titans to win that game because of the coach factor, and they just got absolutely ran through.
I know. Also, just quick for the Hardys and Hardos, we are going to go back, and we're doing a similar segment this week. So last week and this week, and then
I got them.
Oh, you got them? You got the
You got the
record?
records. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, I do want
Oh,
them.
I got them.
Let's
I knew we were
go.
gonna have to keep track of it. You already know. I'm leading after the first week of us doing this. Let's go. I had 11-5 record this past week. You went 9-7. You went 9-7. You picked the Raiders over the Steelers. You picked the Commanders over the Bills. That was the main switch up there. How I beat you by 2.
All right, we like it. Yeah. Not bad. Winning records for both of us in week 1. Not bad.
Let's go.
Or week 2,
exactly.
week 3, I guess. But
week 1 of us doing it. Yeah.
Okay, I will go to the next storyline I had. Who's the worst team in the league? I kind of maybe have a hot take, but
it's got to be the Panthers, right?
I think it might be the Bears. Is it the Bears?
It's probably the Bears. Let's be real.
Because Cardinals and Houston and Indy, those 3 teams who I thought were going to be the bottom are looking
pretty solid. Yeah.
CJ's also. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna leave that for later on, but
I have him too. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, Bears, Panthers. I think both in the conversation, which is wild.
I think that's the 2.
What?
I think that's the 2 right there.
Yeah, and which is crazy because how many teams in the national media, well, how many people on this podcast had faith in Justin Fields? 1, and I look like to be a complete moron about that right now. But we both had the Bears with a terrible record. But how many people in the national media had the Bears winning the division or making the playoffs or wild,
what are we doing?
Stuff. Absolutely wild stuff. And they just look like absolute dog water.
Hardy's Hardos, the stay away game of the week. The absolutely don't even scoreboard watch this game. The Bears play the frickin' Broncos this week, dude.
Yeah, that one's going to be boring as heck.
I mean, they have to be in the mix too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Broncos are almost at a tanking for Caleb Williams point themselves.
Right.
Honestly, which, there we go again with Spinny's bad takes. Take 3 of this pod because Sean Payton looks like he hates Russell Wilson. What the is going on with that? Why?
He hates him, dude.
What? We can't figure. I did not see that coming.
They're benching him. I told you this.
But I did not think Sean Payton would go to a team where he didn't think he had a realistic chance to win and wasn't confident. Did he not talk to Russ before the year? Did he not go through all this stuff before he took the job? Sean Payton could have got any freaking job in the league he wanted.
Sure seems like he didn't. I
just don't understand. And then all the roasting Nat Hackett and everything else. Yeah. And then we're just going to be saying Hackett had one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the league. And then we're going to just be absolute dog water too.
Then we're going to get trounced by 50.
Not see that coming at all.
50 points, Spinny. They lost by 50 points.
Also, that was a fun storyline. McDaniel could have broke the all-time NFL scoring record, but chose not to at the end of the game. I don't know if I would have had that much self-control. I might have kicked that field goal.
Well, he also claimed post-game that he had no idea what the record was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which he might not have, I guess.
Maybe he didn't. I didn't
just know. The offensive mind he is, I feel like he definitely knew what the record was. Yeah. Or someone at least informed him, hey, we're right here, man.
Literally.
That was nuts, though. 8 tutties, dude, between Action and Mostert. What are we talking about, dude? I couldn't even when the sleeper app kept notifying me because I have Mostert in one of my leagues. Touchdown, all this stuff that's happening. I'm like, this has got to be glitch or something. There's no way they're actually doing this. Sure enough.
How did you say Achen?
I've heard it pronounced so many different ways.
But he came out and said, because I feel like
he did.
Yeah, I feel like it was A-chain. That's what they said a lot.
A-chain.
And he came out and said it's A and then C-H-A-N. So Achan? I don't know.
Achan or something.
But he came out and was like, this is how you pronounce my name. So
yeah.
Anyways, but 4 touchdowns. How many people had him on benches in fantasy leagues? That was
basically
nutty.
Everyone, I'm sure. Yeah. Who would be started on?
How many 50-point benches did we have? Absolutely wild.
Second career game, literally, because he missed week 1. So All right, we got to talk about him, man. I'm throwing it out there because they destroyed your squad, dude. CJ Stroud is actually really freaking good. I'm sorry.
Who's
I
the
did
best
not see this coming.
QB? Is it Stroud?
Well, through 3 weeks, it's 100% Stroud. 100%.
Yeah. I think Richardson is the only other one that is in the
Richardson,
conversation just because.
well, yeah. Bryce has not done a lick.
Bryce
I
has
hate
been
to say
crappy,
it,
man.
but he has not done anything.
He looks tiny and outsized.
He looks so small.
I thought he was going to be NFL ready. I thought we were going to get maybe a Mac Jones type rookie year from him. That's kind of really what I expected. But
right.
Their team is trash too, so I mean that obviously doesn't help. But he has not looked good. Richardson has looked what we expected, essentially. Unbelievably athletic, but
he's right, really raw, but he's even passed better than I thought too.
Yeah, he has. I especially downfield. I actually felt like he's seen the field pretty well, which I was a little surprised about, honestly.
Jags, man, flip it from the Texans side to the Jags side, man. What's going on with your Jags here? You got them 14-3, dude. They've not been playing well. They're 1-2, are they not?
They're 1-2, yeah. Trevor hasn't quite. Well, I want to give him a few more weeks before I hate on Trevor because he has played okay, but he has not played necessarily up to that top 5 quarterback level that I thought he might instantly take the jump in. But again, we're in week 3, so I think there's still time for that and for them to figure each other out. I also just have faith in Doug Peterson figuring it out. As much as I dislike the guy, he's a great coach, and I think he's proven that. So I just have faith in that division for them to figure it out.
Okay. Well, figuring it out is a good segue to our team, Minnesota Vikings. Are we going to figure it out? We obviously lost to the Chargers, battle of the 0-3 teams. Both teams obviously should not have been 0-3. We made it out of there, or 0-2. Yep. Yes, 0-2. We made it out of there 0-3 because some guy named Keenan Allen decided to take on our entire defense by himself and absolutely cook us. Brian Flores had no solution for him, and I guess that's what happens when you have terrible personnel, obviously. 18 catches for 200 yards. I mean, what are we talking? Like, this dude literally could not be stopped, and he's 31 years old. It's unreal.
As well as the fact that we turned the ball over again way too many times.
Classic.
And okay, we're going to talk about the end of the game here. I obviously understand.
All right, let's do it.
The biggest part of that is on Kirk, right? Like, here's my thing. Kirk should be allowed to run whatever he wants and do whatever he wants in that situation. If you don't trust your quarterback at the end of the game, then why is he your quarterback? Like, I don't get that. If it was like a O'Connell, the communication issue not fast enough, you should just be trusting Kirk with it at that point. Number one. Number two, whoever's fault it was, spike the MFing ball. Like, what are we talking about? You get 2 downs. After that, the score is much like that's what
Kirk was saying. Like, Kirk said that he's not allowed to even spike the ball on his own. That's why he didn't.
Wild to me.
That's so wild to me. It makes no sense when you're 5 to 10 seconds into not being able to hear. Why do you go an additional 10 seconds of trying to hear? Just spike the damn ball, dude.
Literally.
You still have 3 more plays then.
But the play itself is more TJ Hawkinson's fault. The more I watch it,
the play itself is TJ Hawkinson's fault. He threaded the needle. He gave
Kirk hit him in the hands.
Yeah,
Kirk put that ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it was Kirk's mess up because it looks sketchy and all the weirdness. But like I said, when it comes to the brass tacks, Kirk made the throw. Kirk made a catchable throw. So
100%. Completely agree.
Was it easy? No. But we just paid the man the most money for a tight end in the league. So
exactly.
Like, that's the catches we expect you to make at that point.
Exactly. I don't know. What do you think, man? Are we done, though? Part of me wants to say no, just because I still feel like the NFC North winner could be, yes, the Lions. Obviously, we'll get there in a little bit. Lions are now 3-1. I still think that the NFC North winner could be 9-8, though. At least the 7th seed.
I also have confidence that us beating the Lions down the stretch, and we also have all 6 divisional games left. So that also is a big win in our favor. But these next 4 weeks are like
I mean, we obviously have to beat the Panthers. 100%. Like, we cannot lose the Panthers, obviously.
I mean, I think that's a non-start, obviously. But Panthers, Chiefs, Bears, Niners. We essentially have to go 3-1 in those games. We have to. Because if we're going 2-2 in those games, we're 2-5. And I mean, 2-5 is not a good place to be going towards the playoffs. So we either have to beat the Chiefs or the Niners at home. And I worry about the likelihood of that.
You're gonna have to pull it off. I mean,
because then it does lighten up after that. Like, we got the Packers, but then Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders. 5 weeks in a row. So week 4, 5, 6, 7. So through week 7, or through week 8, we play the Packers in week 8. That's pretty hard. But then weeks 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, weeks 9 through 13, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders. That's 5 winnable games.
Exactly. So you're clearly in the train of we need to keep going, right?
Yeah, I think for now.
At least another 2-3 weeks, like, right?
Unless we take a dump. Like, if we lose to the Panthers or the Bears in the next 3 weeks, we lose either of those 2 games, it's over.
Right. Yes. 100%. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's transition to week 4 now. Like Spinny said earlier, we're going to be doing game picks here from here on out. Spinny, let's just start up top, man. Okay, do we have to just cut, since we're recording after the fact, do we have to not count the Lions-Packers game?
Yeah, Lions-Packers is out.
Yeah.
I probably would have picked the Packers anyway, so.
I would have picked the Lions, but after the fact, you can't really.
Nope.
Exactly. So let's start with the top. We got a London game this week. The Falcons versus the Jags. Jags are 3-point favorites. This one is so tough because absolutely weird things happen in London, man. No one knows what's going to happen in this game.
I'm going Jags, more international game experience. Jags have played an international game every freaking year forever. So we're taking.
And they do have, yes, they have fans actually in London. I've seen that before too. So I'm taking the Jags there too. Next, we have the Dolphins-Bills. This might be potentially the best game we've seen thus far in the NFL. So this season, I'm taking the road team, the Dolphins. They're not playing in the winter right now. There's really no severe home field advantage. Obviously, Buffalo is not an easy place to play, regardless of when they're playing. But no snow on the ground. That's going to go in the Dolphins' favor. And I don't know. I just the Bills. I do think they're back after these last 2 weeks. But at the same time, look at the quarterbacks they've faced in their 3 games so far. They've lost to Zach Wilson, they beat Jimmy Garoppolo, and they beat Sam Howell. Those are the 3 quarterbacks. They haven't faced anything like Tua, nothing like Tyreek and Waddle. Waddle's supposed to be back. You got Chan or whatever the hell we decided his name is, and Mostert. I don't know. I like the Dolphins in this one. 2.5-point favorites, by the way, for Buffalo.
I have to stay true to my preseason picks. I picked Miami to win both these Buffalo games, but no, I don't care about my integrity. We're picking the Bills.
Taking the Bills. Are they back?
I don't know if they're back, but I think we might get hero Josh Allen week. And Josh Allen is either Superman or Bizarro, but I might get a Superman week out of him.
All right, that's fair. This next one I don't even want to pick. That's the toilet bowl. That's the Broncos visiting the Bears. Broncos are 3.5. Bears got to be the worst team in the league because they're at home playing the 0-3 Broncos, and they're 3.5-point underdogs.
We're picking the horses, baby. We're picking the horses.
Broncos. I'm sorry, Justin Fields. You cooked, brother. Ravens versus the Browns battle for the 1 seed in the NFC North through 4 weeks. Man, this one's really tough for me. I'm going Browns. I think they're keeping it rolling. That pass rush is absolutely insane. So I love their defense. They're going to force a couple turnovers with Lamar.
Yep, you're wrong. Ravens are winning. My
of course.
pick getting the W
Of course you picked the Ravens. Weird.
at Cleveland. Sorry, Dog
Weird.
Pound.
Steelers at Texans. This is another very even matched game here. 2.5-point favorites for the road Steelers, actually. I'm going Texans, man. They played so well last week. The Jags, they're going to keep that thing rolling and get to 2-2.
First really good defense that CJ Stroud has faced
That is true.
this year. So I'm going to take the Steelers winning in Houston.
Okay. Hey, we're going to see the standings change quite a bit one way or another. We have a lot of differences here so far. Our game, Vikings, 4-point favorites on the road versus the Panthers. We're both being homers here, correct?
Yep.
Back on track, baby. Here we go. Rams at Colts. This one's really tough. It's even. So this is definitely a stay away game if you're into betting. Even line here. Man, do you know Anthony Richardson's status by chance?
No, but I don't even care because I honestly kind of think Gardner Minshew gives him just as good a chance to win. So
you're right. You convinced me. It's the Colts. It's the Colts.
I'm taking
especially with how well Zach Moss has been. What? That was sick.
Taking the Rams. Stafford and McVay.
All right. Bucks at Saints. Both 2-1. Saints 3-point favorite. So that means it's even on a neutral site. I'm going Saints. I like their defense a little more this year. They've been ferocious so far through 3 weeks. So I'm going to go Saints.
I'm just going to go Bucks. I think that Jameis...
Bro, are we switching every game or what?
I don't know, man. But I think Jameis is going to have a few too many turnovers. They don't get Carr's probably out for this game. So, yeah, I think...
That's an L.
I think the Jameis turnover machine might be what gets the Bucks their sneaky win, even though the Bucks don't win in New Orleans. So this is kind of a bad pick for me in that respect. But Jameis might turn over.
They couldn't even win in New Orleans with Tom Brady.
Yep.
Commanders at Eagles. After that absolute beatdown the Bills gave the Commanders, I don't see any chance. Even though the Commanders did beat the Eagles last year, they did.
Eagles haven't even looked good yet. Eagles offense
and they're still 3-0.
And they're still 3-0. So
Eagles are winning this game. 9-point favorites at home. Bengals at Titans. This one's really tough because, gut instincts wants to say the Bengals, right? But they've looked so shitty so far this year. So
Joe looks like he's finally a little more healthy by the end of last week. But
right. I'm going to go Titans. I think they're going to control the clock. Derrick Henry is going to absolutely eat on this Bengals defense. Joe Burrow still not going to be quite back to himself. Titans are going to pull this one off at home.
Bengals
so you're picking the Bengals, clearly.
Bengals figured it out. And after last week, I have even less confidence in Ryan Tannehill.
That's fair. That was a good point.
Honestly, Raiders. Too, if the Titans lose this week, are we going to see Will Levis at some point? Or
why wouldn't they, right?
Yeah.
They got to throw one of them out there. At least Malik Willis or Will Levis, one of them's got to play.
That's what I mean.
You drafted them both. So Raiders at Chargers. I think Chargers keep rolling, honestly. They lost Mike Williams, but they lose him every year. So I don't think that really impacts it too much. Quinn Johnson will finally get to play more instead of his 10 snaps a game or whatever he's been doing.
Thanks,
Mike. And the Raiders, let's be real. The Raiders ain't stopping Keenan Allen. So
true. But I'm going to give the team who is going to have more fans at this game the win, and that is the Raiders. Raiders home game on the road in LA. They will definitely have that stadium black and white. So we're picking the Raiders this week.
They let you down last week, man. They're going to let you down again this week. I'm telling you that much. Patriots at Cowboys. Dallas is 6.5-point favorite. I'll tell you what, if I was a betting man, I'd taken the Pats plus 6.5 right there. I don't know. I'm sus after the Cowboys' performance last week. Obviously, they were on the road in Arizona. Now they're at home, so it's a little different. But still, Arizona's not that far from Texas. Cowboys have fans everywhere. I'm sure there was a Cowboy fans there. I'm taking, all that being said, I'm still taking the Cowboys at home.
I'm going to roll Dallas at home as well. Also watch if the Dallas bettors could move this line by Sunday. And if this line's at 7 or 7.5, then I'm definitely has a better, if I was a better, slamming the Patriots. If you get that 7
Yes.
number through the spread, then that's really huge.
Hey, remember when I said the Texans last week, by the way, on the spread? And I just had to remind you. Cardinals at 49ers. Cardinals, no chance in hell they keep this shit rolling. They ain't beating the 49ers in San Francisco.
That game's over
Yeah.
before it starts.
Yeah, and so is this next one.
Yeah.
Chiefs visiting the Jets.
Zach Wilson will never beat Patrick Mahomes. I don't care.
Never.
You could put Zach Wilson on the Niners and Patrick Mahomes on the Cardinals, and I'd still take the Patrick Mahomes led team.
I mean, 8.5 point favorites on the road. You don't see that very often. Plus, they got all the Swifties on their side now.
Yeah.
They do. They really do. Oh, that's Sunday night football. Your Monday night football game. One that I'm not very excited to watch just because I absolutely hate watching the Giants. They play at home versus the Seahawks. And the Seahawks are favored by 1.5. I'm taking the Seahawks because I just like them way more.
I'm taking Seattle.
Just literally that fast.
I said this so many times last year.
He sucks.
When you let Daniel Jones out of his tiny little just barely do anything box that Brian Daboll tried to put him in last year, he is trash. And I knew they were going to let him have a little bit more freedom this year because Daboll was going to feel he had developed and he was going to go backwards. And it's two touchdowns, 4 interceptions already. He's turned the ball over more, looking like a Vikings quarterback with how much he's turning the ball over. And I just don't see it changing. I still cannot believe the Giants gave Daniel Jones that much money. I just really don't understand.
Do you remember what it was again?
Not right now. 4 for 160 in that.
It was too much. That's all that matters.
In the $40 million a year range.
Yeah, it was in the what the hell are we doing range.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Spinny, man, those are our picks. This is going to be interesting to see where the stands are at after this week.
This is going to be a wild one because we went
like half the games were different. Yeah. This was crazy. This was actually probably the most we'll ever be different, I feel like. All right, but I do have a Q&A for you.
Good. Shoot it out. No Q&A for me this week.
Whip out your phone.
Yep.
You might need it. Fantasy baseball. We talked regular type storylines before. Just give me a shout out. Shout out a dude or two that really balled out.
You already know who I'm going to shout out.
Don't repeat. Don't say Bellinger. Don't say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Say something we haven't talked about. That dropped me 34 points in championship week. Ooh. Chris Bassett getting the shout out this year. 512 points. He is SP10. SP10.
SP10?
SP10. 512
this dude's SP1?
Yeah, SP1. Chris Bassett, SP1. Huge shout out to him on that.
I have this little rat on my team for the last 2 seasons, and yes, he probably got me SP2 numbers, but now he jumps to SP1 when he's not on my team anymore? Sweet.
Logan Webb, Blake Snell, Chris Bassett, all SP1s on my squad this year. A little bit of a surprise for a couple of those dudes, as well as Kirby and Valdez being SP2. So shout out to that huge pitching staff. What are you doing?
We love that Carl's Rodon.
Yep.
Negative 16 points right now for me. Gave up 8 runs in the first inning without recording a single out.
Sick.
Thank you, Carlos Rodon, for that final start of the season.
Huge shout out to a guy that might have a 30-30 year that I feel like is one of the most underrated guys in the league, and that's Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker, 29.
He's still not to 30-30, actually.
29 home runs, 111 RBIs, and 29 stolen bases, hitting 282, 93 runs scored, 515 points on the season for fantasy baseball. So big credit to him, and I think he gets a little shafted on how good he is scale.
All right. Well, I have to do it and just call out some of my own dudes. I should try to call out different players, but I got to shout them out. Josh Naylor in the AL Central, man, he balled out. He missed a good chunk of time towards, I want to say, mid-July, towards the end of August. Basically, missed a number of weeks. So his totals is only at 339 on the season in terms of points, but 2.9 points per game is what he finished the season at. Absolutely unreal year. He batted 306 with 17 home runs and 97 RBIs, which is in the top 10 in the MLB. Great season for a second or third year player, and Josh Naylor. I hate that he's in the AL Central. They're probably going to be terrorizing the Twins for years on the Guardians. The other dude is Nico Horner. I picked this dude up, Spinny, like 4 days after the draft. 2.8 points per game. Nico Horner finished as the 4th ranked shortstop in the entire MLB for fantasy. Unreal year. He almost had 100 runs scored. That's his main production. He just gets on base. And that's very good for fantasy.
Yeah, I had another similar player like that, Jordan Montgomery. Picked him up May 26th. Absolutely been balling on my roster since then.
So mad I didn't pick him up.
A couple other real quick shout-outs. Zach Eflin, SP12.
Oh,
Zach
my God,
Eflin
he went off this year. Yeah.
Yeah. 16-8, 186 Ks, 3.85 ERA, whip of 1.02. Absolutely crazy season from him. And also one more guy that I think we saw it coming, but maybe not this soon, Corbin Carroll. 287, 25 dingers, and 52 stolen bases. 116 runs scored and 75 RBIs. Absolutely. All season from him.
50 stolen bases as a rookie?
Yeah.
It's fair to say
25-50 season as a rook?
Right.
Wow.
Definitely safe to say my preseason rookie of the year in the NL is going to be correct in Corbin Carroll.
Agreed.
That's pretty safe to say. All right, Spinny. We did it, man. We got a lot in. We didn't finally only talk about football. We talked about basketball. We talked about all three.
I know. I missed it.
Sorry, NHL fans.
Yeah. Sorry, NHL fans. Nobody cares about you.
Ooh. Spinny, you got to take it that far.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. Episode 76 will be coming early next week with our playoff predictions. So stay tuned.
Watch the WNBA playoffs going on right now.
Yeah, it's going on.
We might get a Liberty and Aces WNBA finals.
Better be.
And both those teams are up in the conference finals right now. So that would be a very, very, very fun WNBA finals to watch. Liberty up 2-1. And Aces are up 2-0 right now in the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals.
Let's go. Let's go Aces. Repeat. Back to back. Come on.
You cheering for the Aces over the Liberty? Y'all are
New York team. I don't care if it's WNBA. No New York teams ever. Come on.
I don't know. Stewie and Sabrina, man. They be balling.
Back to back. Let's go, Vegas. Come on.
We'll see.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you.
Hug your friends and family, and have a wonderful weekend, Hardies and Ardos.